Hi guys, today we are going to be talking about the humble mince pie. Now the mince pie is one of the UK's favourite Christmas snacks. But it has a bit of a dark side to it, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. The mince pie is, there's no good way of putting this, it is a calorie bomb. You know, it is all the bad things wrapped up in one tasty little package. Now they're a little bit Marmite. Some people like them, some people don't. But there are 800 million of these things consumed in the UK alone each and every year. Now that number is flabbergasting me because there's only 67 million people in the country, so a bit of quick maths suggests that every man, woman and child in the UK is eating 12 of these a year. Most of those will be consumed sort of in December, around Christmas time obviously, but there's going to be plenty of those people that won't like these, that, you know, so won't eat mince pies. So how many mince pies are people eating each year themselves? There must be dozens, you're getting through dozens of these. Now I'm a bit impartial to them, you know, I like the taste of them, but I don't like them enough to consume these calories. So it got me thinking, how could I demonstrate best how many calories is say in this pie? In this particular one is 337 calories. Now for comparison, a can of Coke has 139. A full sugar can of Coke has 139 calories, so nearly 2.5 in this. And people can eat many of these. You see them in like offices around the country, you see them laid out on tables in Christmas parties, and just people scoffing them in front of the TV at night, and they're just nom nom nom, and they're not, those calories have nowhere to go. You know where they're going. And to that end, obviously combined with all the rest of the gub that you eat around Christmas, all the extra excess that you gobble down, people put on, just between Christmas Day and New Year's Day, that 1 week, they put on somewhere between 3 and 5 pounds on average in weight. That is mad, and it comes down to gobbling down massive amounts of calorie dense, incredibly rich foods like these. So yeah, it got me thinking, how could I best demonstrate how many calories are in this? And so what I'm going to do right after this video is put on my Santa hat, put on my trail shoes, and we're going to go for a run, and I am going to track it on my watch, and I'm going to run until I hit 337. All right, so I'm going to go put my shoes on now, and we're going to go out, and we're going to go on for a little Christmassy run. Okay, jumper on, hat on, camera, watch. Right, so I firstly need to get this searching for satellites. Thank you, Garmin. Come on, satellites. Nearly there. The calories in the top right hand corner is where my calories are. So I'm going to keep an eye on that closely as we run. I imagine that this is going to take somewhere between 35 and 40 minutes. Certainly since I'm going sort of an off-road way. I expect to get a few funny looks. I'm dressed a bit like a div. We'll see. So the calories have started to tick. We are on 7 calories now. Okay, I brought a snack along for the trip. Goals for the day, goals for this run, not to be set on by any dogs, and not have to run through any groups of teenagers. I'd like to avoid that, as they would be merciless with me. We are just coming up on about 0.7 of a mile of the first mile. I'm now fully off-road, as you can see. It's quite boggy underfoot, takes a little bit of pace away, but that's okay. It's a bit more enjoyable off-road. House, you don't have to go far to go running. You start at your house. That's what's so good about running. That's what's good about like burning calories and stuff. You don't have to travel far. You can do it anywhere and with almost no equipment. If you've got a pair of running shoes, dust them off. This morning I was
at the Christmas pot run near here, near where I live. It's not always easy. It's not always easy. Sometimes it's just, it's a bit tricky. Oh God, I'll be okay. You can do it. You can do it. It's just terrible, terrible amounts of sludge and mud. So the rough rule of thumb for running and calorie burning is per 1 mile, roughly, depending on pace and heart rate and age, sex, everything, roughly, for every 1 mile, it's 100 calories. Now, I did park run this morning, Christmas one, I dressed fully as Santa, finished in 19 minutes 59 seconds, dressed head to toe as Santa, and I burned 290 calories. Just think about that. I need more than that today. Here we go. Cross bridge. More sludge. Okay. So we've just gone through a mile. We're at about 100 calories. So onward. What you believe on the internet and where you read it suggests that sometime in the Middle Ages, people started to make pies to celebrate baby Jesus, the birth of baby Jesus, right? And they were initially just Eurego pies. They were rectangle and quite large, and on the top there was a little baby Jesus inscribed, and it had 13 ingredients to symbolise the disciples and whatnot, and there was lots of parallels with the sort of biblical story of Jesus. And so they started off as big pies filled with tongue and offal and all sorts of rubbishy meat. Must have been horrible in the early days. I bet there wasn't a queue for them at Tesco. Sludge. Oh no. Oh no. Oh God. Ah man. Okay. But obviously the story doesn't end there, does it? We don't eat giant rectangle mince pies filled with horrible meat. No, we don't. We eat nice little sweet things like this. But when did they change and why? Around the Tudors, here's my bit of research on this. Around the Tudors, someone was asked to make a pudding variant of the mince pie. So they'd have their meaty one, and then they'd have their pudding one. Sort of two pie combo meal. And then over the coming centuries or whatever, the meaty one sort of fell out of favour. The sort of dirty tongue and horrible meats that went into the original pies was replaced by minced beef, and it became more of a sort of just a general pie, I guess. And somewhere in the sort of 1900s, they sort of stopped putting meat in them altogether, and they became a sweet only offering that was at Christmas time. The sort of baby Jesus link was kind of lost, but that's kind of why they're there. And what's really strange is that this is only in the UK. You know, Christianity is worldwide, as was the British reach around the world, the colonial reach of the British Empire. You would think that mince pies would be everywhere by now, wouldn't you? Everywhere. But they're not. Just the UK. Mad, isn't it? And we eat 800 million mince pies. Where am I going? Pies don't have any meat in them, right? Some still have suet in, but most have had that replaced by something else, and they're vegetarian through and through. This one here is vegetarian. You can then get further ones that are vegan and whatnot. So the humble pie that was just pastry and meat has long gone, and this is what's left. A rather overindulgent sugar topped pudding. There it is. So if they've got no meat in, why are they called mince pies? Well, I checked. Obviously I checked. Well, there was two explanations on the internet, so I'm going to tell you them both. The first is that in olden days, in the Middle Ages, meat was the sort of general term for all foods, sort of the meat of your meal kind of thing, rather than flesh of an animal. And mince just meant diced, so mince meat, minced food. in a pie? The second more obvious answer is during the Tudor time up until sort of Victorian age, they had minced beef in them. So you would think minced meat is not that too far from minced meat. But it is rather confusing nowadays that the contents, which is predominantly fruit, sultanas, oranges, brandy sometimes, is referred to as mincemeat. It's a bit confusing. Certainly as a vegetarian, you pick one up going, can I eat this? If you want to burn calories a bit quicker, find a hill like this one. Good grief. Heart rate's going through the roof. Equals more calories burned. So I'm going to get to the top and be gassed though. Here's what it is. Is it worth it, guys? Is it worth it for one of these? Still going. Okay. Sit rep. We are 2.5 miles in now. 2.5 miles. Still worth it, guys. Still worth it. I can already tell you no. I could have not eaten this and not needed to do this run. So you can see how by not putting this in the mouth, you don't need to offset it. Oh, I just nearly dropped my mince pie on the floor. That'd have been a terrible shame. So, does that mean you should be strict all year round? Does that mean you should not have fun at Christmas? Does that mean you should eat nothing bad? No, absolutely not. There's a balance to be struck in life, and when you know something is going to impact you as much as Christmas can, drink, food, all December, all the way through to early January, there's something you could do to offset it. Generally, I deal with hiccups in diet and nutrition on a case-by-case basis. If I know I'm going out for a meal, I know it's going to be quite calorific, I will make sure my exercise is done before, the day before, that day and the day after. Probably a little bit extra too. And that's it, guilt-free, all taken care of. So why are you poo-pooing all over mince pies? I'm not. I'm using this mince pie as a metaphor for Christmas in general. This is the overindulgence that is Christmas, and me running this is trying to offset some of it so I don't slip year on year into bad fitness and ill health. Okay, 3.9 miles, 335, 336, 337. Right, that's it. That's exactly here. That's exactly how many calories it takes to burn that fella. Just this fella. Home, 4 miles done. About 388 was the distance, about 40 minutes. So, just keep this in the back of your mind. That's what it takes to burn this one little doohickey up. I think I've deserved this. Carried this around the entire way. Not bad. That one mouthful alone was about 170 calories.
Okay guys, that's the running done, 337 calories burned. That means I now have profit and I have offset an entire luxury mince pie from Asda. Thanks Asda. But what's the message? Why am I doing this? Why? It's to demonstrate more than anything the massive imbalance between how easy it is to consume calorie dense food and how hard it is to burn those same calories from your body through sort of exercise. How much longer it takes. It literally takes 15 seconds to eat a mince pie, and it takes 40 something minutes perhaps to, at my level of fitness, to burn those same calories off. For people that are just sat around all day, those calories are going nowhere. Certainly if you're eating over a month's period, many of these pies, 800 million pies are being consumed, people must be gobbling down dozens of these things. And those calories have nowhere to go. They are going to go to your belly, they're going to go to your thighs, they're going to go to your bum, and they're going to stay there till about July. Because if you start exercising in January, like a lot of people do, just to try and offset Christmas, you have a massive amount of work to do. I did a video not so long back called the 10,000 calorie challenge, where I had to eat 10,000 calories and burn 10,000 calories. And I probably spent less than an hour eating that day, but I spent 18 long hours exercising those same calories off. And it was hard work, really hard work. And I'd underestimated the amount of effort required. So to that end, this video echoes that same message, that just bear that in mind when you shoveling stuff into your face. The average Christmas day is anywhere between sort of 3,000 and 5,000 calories. This is multiples of your RDA, and obviously this goes quite negatively against like health or whatever. So if you do this over numerous days, you're looking probably to put on somewhere between 3 and 5 pounds in just the week between Christmas and New Year's alone. So just think how many months you are then going to have to spend just undoing that damage from that 1 week, let alone if you've been indulging throughout all of December. So that's the message. It's only a bit of tongue-in-cheek. I just wanted to demonstrate with like some real-world context what it takes to burn off a mince pie. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please give the channel a subscribe on your way out, and I will see you in my next video. Mata.